guys, so today we're talking about the best selling cards under $5 or less. If you checked it out already, I did most of Photon Hypernova, not including the penny stocks, last week on the regular Market Watch. So go ahead and check out that video if you guys haven't already. Click like, subscribe, don't dislike. That's bad juju. Bad juju. But today we're talking about Photon Hypernova, and we're talking about the penny stocks. There's actually a lot of cards that cost less than $5 in Photon Hypernova, which is why I was talking to somebody in the comments. It's not really that great of a set, but there are obviously going to be great things to potentially grab onto on that $5 or less mark. Um, starting, I mean, I think we talked about this card a little bit. Galaxy Photon Dragon. The Galaxy stuff is not as prevalent as like Dark Magician, Blue Eyes, Elemental Hero, different things like that. But when we look at archetypes like Crystal Beast, certainly Crystal Beast. I'm trying to think of another one. Cyber Dragon. Just like archetypes from the show that a lot of people like Arm Dragon's another one. Um, Galaxy Eyes is really far up there. It's probably the most popular archetype from Zexal, I would say. And you look at this card, it's a generic rank 4 monster, which is interesting too, though. Since it's generic, you can attach a material from card, either add one Photon or Galaxy card. Galaxy Cyclone. If you guys actually let me take a look. It's been a minute. I haven't looked at what Galaxy Cyclone is. Galaxy Cyclone is searchable by this card. For those who don't really probably even know what this card does, like do keep it like Labyrinth is a very popular archetype right now. All copies of this card is lower. Um and because of this is the reprint. But when we look at it, target one set, spell and trap on the field, destroy it during your main phase up turn. This card was sent to the graveyard. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target one face up spell or trap on the field, destroy it. So it's literally 2 pops. And floodgates are really, really popular right now. Because Konami hasn't really done too many things with it. Obviously they just banned Mystic Mind. But they also brought back Macrocosmos and D-Fissure, which obviously this card doesn't work against Macrocosmos because it would get banished, but D-Fissure only works against monsters. So your opponent's got to face up D-Fissure and a set like Judgment. They're not going to trade Judgment with Galaxy Cyclone, and then you can just banish your Galaxy Cyclone to pop the D-Fissure and get insane value out of it. Also, because it banishes, you can run this in decks that are okay with banishing because obviously it banishes. Like if you're running like Sword Soul, for example, and you have the level 10, monster, um, that banishes a card when you banish a card or when a card is banished, you can trigger that yourself. So Galaxy Cyclone is a really actually underrated card. Um, but the fact that this card searches it is super huge. And obviously it's really good just in the Galaxy archetype itself. So I think this is a really good card actually to get. It feels like it's hitting its valley. We'll take a look at the graph a little bit. This is probably closer to its valley. If you can get this card for $3.30, $3.50, I think you should go for it. Especially $3. A couple of these are being sold for $3. One was sold for $2.69. Yeah, if you can get this for under $3, I would definitely pull the trigger. But like I always say, if you're a subscriber here, you've heard me say it, multiple times. Like I always say, spend your money how you feel. But I did actually want to look at this real quick. Because this set isn't really that big of a set. This is actually a real thing. The price has dropped. Like if we go to just like Walmart, my probably like between Walmart, Target, and I'm in the Midwest territory, so Meijer as well. If you're in the Midwest territory, you know what Meijer is. If you're not, you have no idea what I just said when I just said Meijer. Um, but between those three, um, Walmart seems to have the best Yu-Gi-Oh packs, and so usually they run at a bare minimum of $4 to $5, right? So the fact of the matter is, you could go down here, get this. I mean, look at this thing. It's literally just taking a nosedive because people are realizing, yeah, this set really just isn't that good. Like Thrust is okay. The Starlight Rares aren't that great other than Mirror Jade. Um, the fact though is, like this for example, Bubble Tea Cafe, free shipping on orders over $5. So for I mean, 389 is about how much you're gonna spend anyway. But you can get free shipping. You can get 10 for 389, which is 38 bucks. So you spend about 40 bucks to get 10 packs. Um, Obviously you have to pay tax and stuff like that as well if you're in a state that does that. But I would just be on the lookout for this because this could potentially go lower. Because people have a lot of these. People pre-ordered this set thinking it was going to be just like any other regular Yu-Gi-Oh set, and it really has been kind of disappointing. But because it's been disappointing, you can almost kind of take advantage of that, right? I think I talked about that archetype, this archetype, the like Captain Carry, Gold Pride, one of the I think it's Gold Pride is the name of the archetype. So I didn't want to talk about that too much. This is what we're here for. Do we know? Does anybody know what's going on with this archetype? Ice Jade. Like I know, is it Tremora is like a decent searcher. Let's take a look at these real quick. Now I'm not gonna do like a deep dive like I did with Pearly. I just wanted to look at this real quick. Like, is this archetype good? Because I feel like the most expensive card, because a lot of people have said this was going to be a good chase card, because it actually is a decent card. You can send this card for your hand to grave, especially summon one water monster from your hand. If a face-up water monster is destroyed by battle or card effect while this card's in graveyard, special summon it. You can banish this card, special summon an Ice Jade monster from your hand to graveyard. Right, so it's got interesting things that it can do. Let's take a look at the most expensive card. If a face-up card is in the field spell zone, you can special summon this card. While this card's on the field, monsters your opponent controls can only activate their effects the turn they were summoned. That's not very good. What does this do? You can activate this effect. Face-up monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or banished by your opponent's card effects this turn. That's cool. Then, if you activated this effect in response to your opponent's card, and your opponent has a card with that name on their field and or in their graveyard, you can banish those. Interesting. Really interesting actually. So it's like Baron. Like your opponent goes to pop a Baron, goes to pop with Baron because they don't know what this card does because they don't read. Let's be real. Like that's your best chance with this archetype is that your opponent doesn't know what it does. Okay, so they summon Baron. I'm trying to see if it's just your cards face up monsters you control. So they go to pop this card, for example, with Baron. You chain this card to protect it and then banish the Baron. Um, And then if a card is banished by your opponent's card effect while this card's in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. That's weird. Uh, but like it's interesting. It's not terrible. Um, and it is interesting too because the later the game goes, the more that you'll be able to activate that second effect. That second effect feels pretty good. Um, but that third effect just is kind of awkward. Like, when would your opponent banish something while that's in the graveyard? Like, if your opponent's banishing something, like Kashtira, for example. Well, Kashtira banishes it face down, so you can't even activate its effects. That's not even a good example. But, like, um, D-Shifter, for example. If D-Shifter's live and your opponent Raigekis your board, and then they all get banished, this card's also going to be banished. I don't know. Maybe it's possible. I don't know. You guys let me know. I don't think this is a good... I can look at it real quick, the graphs. If you're curious, there you go. If you were interested in what the graph has looked like, there it is. But I'll do this real quick too, just to kind of humor myself to see, because I mentioned this before. Like, there's nothing wrong with playing a fun deck. A lot of people, mistake fun for bad. Like, I think this is all of the cards. I mean, you only get one of the synchro, which isn't that great. But I think only one of whatever this card is, which I assume is Tremora, which isn't that great. For 35 bucks, you do get Torrential. So that's cool. For 35 though, that's not that great. This is the deck at full power. I think this is the full thing, right? I think this is, and then a couple extra cards, yeah. For 40 bucks. 40 bucks really isn't that bad. Like, I mean, we go back to Photon Hypernova. I mean, triple tactics thrust costs more than the deck, right? So just something to keep in mind. If you can get, it could be something too where it's like you pull a triple tactics thrust, and your opponent just so happens to have an Ice Jade deck that you're trying to get rid of. Like it could be something like that. Like that's always something that you should consider. Like that's how I got like a World Chalice deck. Is I had some random ultimate rare, and somebody at my locals was like really big on getting ultimate rares. And we looked at the pricing of both, and it was like this: I can get your low rarity World Chalice deck. It costs about as much as this ultimate rare, so let's do that trade there. Like, there's nothing wrong with doing that, but just keep in mind, like in most cases, the more is not the merrier. Like usually, like let's say someone trades one card, I could do if you guys want me to, I can do like a video on how to trade. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that type of thing. Because I know sometimes people do it very well. Sometimes people are interestingly malicious because it's a children's card game. And like the most you could spend on a trade is like $2,000 maybe, and some people just get really serious about it. So I can do a video on that if you guys would like me to. But I was just gonna say like in that example I just gave, like I traded triple Traxxas Thrust for an Ice Jade deck. Well, an Ice Jade deck costs about $40, right? So I would have lost even though I got an entire deck, right? But maybe that's okay. Maybe you're not bad with that type of neg. There's something to keep in mind. That's it as far as like cards that are like $2. So there is a lot of potential here, right? I'm just gonna say that out the gate. Let me just do. Let's do this real quick because I got a feeling that there are some secret rares. No, this is the cheapest secret rare. Okay. Let's see what this one's about too. You can also see some of this with Gigantic Champion Saragas by using a Spring Ends Xyz monster. Spring Ends is interesting. I feel like Spring Ends is good. This searches what is that card? The Therion Machine. Alright, one second. Now I have to look it up because it's gonna bother me. King Regulus. Yeah. This searches that. Yeah, I knew this card was gonna go up. I should have picked this card up when I saw it. Cause it's a thing too. Like I'll tell people get this card, and then like I won't do it, and then it goes up in value, and I'm like I should have got it when I told other people to get it. But if this card is attached as from a monster on the field, you can target one card on the field, either destroy it or return it to the hand. That's huge. That's huge. It's a little annoying at targets, but that's not that bad. Is it a penny stocks though? Technically, that's actually a really good card. I actually think that's a decent buy. And the rest aren't penny stocks, so we'll add in because it goes secret rare to really ultra rare. Yeah, as we can tell. We'll get rid of the secret rares too. We need secret rares. Because I feel like a lot of these ultra rares, and obviously the ultra rares are printed differently. Like some ultra rares are printed more than others. Like I'm sure like Tier Elements, Kashtira, and Big Welcome Labyrinth, and the Kashtira Rise Heart were probably printed more than some of these other ultra rares, or printed less. Excuse, I said the exact opposite I wanted to say. Um, but like this card, for example. Let's take a look at this. Let's do this one and this one for the ultra rares. So you can only control one of these cards. Monsters your opponent controls lose 1,000 attack and defense. Quick effect. You contribute this card, this Xyz summoned card. Special summon a non-fairy Grenadier Xyz monster from your extra deck. Then you can attach cards from any monster and or graveyard to that special summon monster as material. Up to the number of materials that this card has. I'm so confused as to like I was like that sounds like a lot. Then you can attach cards from any field. That's pretty good. So you just tribute this card, special summon a non-fairy Grenadier. Let me see what that is, because I don't know this archetype that well either. Gene Raider. Am I saying why am I saying Grenadier? It's Gene Raiders. It's definitely Gene Raider, not whatever I was just saying. Oh, there's a token. One second. This is a penny stock. Token markets are interesting. Kind of weird that this token is so high in value right now. Does it look cool? Sure, we'll say it looks cool. It's not a good buy. It's not. I was curious to see if it was. It's not. Is it just that monster? It's probably just that monster, isn't it? Yep. You can only control one of these. You can detach a material. Each player draws one card. Then each player that drew attaches one card from their hand or field to this card. Hmm. Hmm. Doesn't feel terrible. I don't know though how you really maximize this card. Like obviously in the deck itself, Gene Raider, I'm sure they have a lot of level nines, and also True King Lithosgasm that just went to 3 on the ban list is also a level 9. Something to keep in mind. Draconic Diagram still at 1 though. This card is interesting. This card has potential. If the level 9, like Virtual World for example, I don't know how they could make this card, but I mean I guess like Vermilion plus Cloud Castle. And then you tribute this card, so it has 2 materials. You take 2 cards from your opponent's side of the field, put it on that other boss monster. Um, I don't know how much attack and defense though it had. The original attack and defense becomes 1,000 times its materials. So does this also get attached to? Let's do math here. You can tribute and attach. So no, it doesn't. So it'd be 2,000. But then it draws and potentially goes to 4,000, but it doesn't really do anything. I like that it takes and that it takes as a quick effect, so it is a form of disruption in a way. But it's not that good of a card. I don't know if that's that great of a buy. But I guess we can look at if it's been moving at all. No, it's just been taking a nosedive. That makes sense. I mean, maybe you want to just pick up 3 copies for 91 cents. Like if, like here's the thing. Like if you're, let's say you're buying something. Like let's say we go to Crazy Nick's cards for example. I don't know. This isn't me by the way. I don't know. This is I just clicked on this person. But let's say you wanted to buy, because I'll be in this situation a lot where I'll be like on page 8 and I am buying, I need 2 copies of UA Perfect Ace. And then because I have 1, I just need 2 more. So I buy 2 from Crazy Nicks. That puts me at 450. So I just need 1 other card, right, to get over that $5 hump to get free shipping. This could be a good card to get, if that makes sense. We'll leave the store here real quick. Um, that's about the extent of that, though. Chaos Archer Fiend, a light 200. I figured it was going to be something Chaos related. It's level 8? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. If any cards have been banished this turn, this card gains 2,000, so it goes 4,500. This card can attack all monsters once each. Also banish any monster. It's pretty interesting. So it's not floating. This card in your opponent's session leaves the field because of a card or opponent's card. You can special summon a Chaos Synchro monster except itself. Well, now once again we gotta search. This is gonna be a little harder. How do I want to do this? Let's actually not do it on TCG Player. Let's go like this. Let's go over to the Yu-Gi-Oh database. Uh, because this is the thing, like this card, 4,500 attack, UTC effect where it can attack all monsters is actually really cool. But this card's the true best thing about this card, or potentially worse, is whatever targets it has, right? And here's why. So this card has no protection. Like it's not unaffected, can't be destroyed, can't be targeted. It has none of that. The biggest form of protection is actually a deterrent. And what I mean by that is your opponent's not just going to play Raigeki if this card's on the field because they're worried you could special summon a Chaos Synchro monster from your extra deck. Now, if there aren't any good ones, because I'm pretty sure one just got banned, right? I think so. Let me see. We'll go Chaos here. Does it have to be anything, or can it just be a synchro? It just has to be a synchro. It just has to be a synchro monster, and it has to be in your extra deck. Which that's where the synchro monsters go. But you can't like someone run back out from the grave. So there's 5 results. Yes, because this was the best one, right? And this one's gone now. But this one says when this card declares an attack, nope. Once per turn, you can send 1 light monster and target 1 level 5 or higher dark monster. It's not terrible. Chaos Beast. If this card has been banished this turn, did this also come out? This also just come out, didn't it? Yeah. So if any cards have been banished this turn's card gains 1,000, so it goes to 3,000. You can use each of the following effects of Chaos Beast once per turn. You can target one of your banished light or dark monsters added to your hand. During your main phase, except the turn this card sets graveyard, you can banish light, dark, and special summon this card back out. Hmm. So that's not really much of a deterrent because this is the best card. This is the best chaos card, right? So if you can make it, I mean, obviously Lightstorm comes to mind because Lightstorm have one of the best level 4 tuners in the game. It's a little tricky, but like Twilights are all dark. Um, I'm trying to think of what deck could very easily make this because Rockets are usually all dark. I mean, like, yeah, because Rocket Tracers are dark, so you can't even use that. I guess we'll do this one more time. We'll take a look at this. Is going to be a little bit bigger because the thing is, like, no, this isn't a good card, but in a simplified game state, or like maybe not under skill drain, but like in a very simplified game state where you and your opponent are just kind of battling it out for like, and you're almost in top deck mode. This card could actually be super impactful if it's relatively easy to summon. So we'll go to light tuners. There might be a lot of those. Wait, I did that. Wait a second. I did that wrong. Light tuner. Did I click on light tuner? I thought I did that already. I think because I'm not. Why is it doing that? Monster cards. Light. Excluded items. Oh, okay. That's my bad. Is it this? Oh, that resets it. Okay, okay. So I was doing this the opposite way I should be doing this. And this is always. I did it wrong. I don't know what is going on. I don't know why it's so hard to search for light tuners. But this is always a good thing to do here, though. Um, because this card's really only going to be as good as how easy it is to summon. I the fondest idea of how I'm doing this so poorly. So I guess I'll have to do this. Aha! I know what I was doing. I see what I was doing. I was supposed to click on this one because it's card type. Light and tuner. Okay, here we go. For real this time. Bet. All right, we did it. Proud of. I'm gonna clap it up for myself. But okay, aromas is interesting. I do aromas have level manipulation? I don't know, but they do have a dark monster though. Fallen of Allbass. That's interesting. I forgot that card is a tuner. Is Buster Blader a level 7 monster? Buster Blader might be able to make this card. Buster Blader's a light though. I don't know why I keep saying Buster Blader. We'll just do this. Try to do this as fast as possible. Yang Zing, probably not. Cupid Pitch is a level 3. So generic level 3. Diviner's level 2. Diviner plus Abystial. Actually, I just thought of that. That might be the best. That might be the most meta relevant thing here. Diviner, like Drytron. Drytron's running Bestials. You summon Diviner. In a simplified game state, you can summon this card out. It's worse plays. There are definitely worse plays. Sword Soul, probably not. Maybe Sword Soul. Minerva's yeah. Like Lightstorm, there's really not a lot of good light tuners, huh? Blue Eyes, yeah, one of the Blue Eyes level 1 monsters. Plus Red Eyes, like Sage plus Red Eyes Black Dragon. TGs are TG. Okay, TG kind of, sort of, not really. And this is what you should, you know, I can only do this with so many cards, because obviously I'm not trying to make the video 4 hours long. But this is really what you should be doing with like every card that you consider buying. Like, is this a good card or not? Well, how easy can I play this card? How easy can my opponent get rid of it? Right? Those two things are very important when we look at why to buy it. So it might seem like I was being I was maybe like wasting time searching for other chaos synchro monsters, searching for light tuners, right? But the idea is like if you get 14 copies of this card and there are no good light tuner and dark monster connect like scenarios where this card can be made, it's not a good card, right? And if this card can bring out a really good chaos monster, it actually is a really good card, right? And obviously if you want to just like give it a shot cuz it's like 90 cents, 80 85 cents, right? Like you're more than welcome to do that. And the main reason we're talking about these cards, kind of like why I was talking about the Starlight rares on the Market Watch, is because these are the cards I feel like the secret rares and the ultra rares are the penny stocks that have the most potential from Photon Hypernova, right? These are the cards that, because they're a little bit more short printed, if there's this random combination that one of these cards have, it actually could end up being really, really good. But let me know what you guys think. What are some of the best cards under $5 or less from Photon Hypernova or wherever? Let me know in those comments down below. Make sure you guys click that like button to show your support for the channel. Subscribe for even more content. But most importantly of all, have a good day.